What's going on, stackers? So in this video we're going to be taking a deep dive into 5 of my KDP low content book brands. So, welcome back to Stacking Profit. My name's Paddy, and over here we give you the tools and resources to learn, grow and master passive income streams so that you can live a life of freedom. Now, if you're looking to sell more low content books, then stick around and watch all of this video because I'm going to share how I have sold 30,000 plus books with only 5 different low content book brands. We are also going to take a look at all of the stats so we can see the ups and downs, how many books I've published under these brands, and I'm also going to give you 5 tips so that hopefully you can do the same. Now let's go over to my Get Book Report just here. And let's have a quick look at the lifetime of my account, because I now have 4,070 books. I've earned $122,000 in royalties, and if we actually scroll down to around about here, we can see that over the whole account I've actually sold 61,807 books. Now that's a lot of books, but if we scroll back up to the top we can see that I've been publishing since 2018, so this did not happen overnight. And it's actually taken quite some time to earn this $122,000. Now, what I've gone ahead and already done is opened 5 of my brands already, right here as you can see. Now, what we're going to do is go through these. We're going to take a look. We're going to take a look at the sales, and I have a few points that I want to talk about. Now, with this brand, this is one of my colouring book brands. Now, with this, we can see that I've earned $19,500. And if we look here, oh, that's actually from 17 books. And if we look here, we can see the sales over the last few months have been pretty consistent. My colouring books, or should I say 2 of my colouring books, tend to do fairly well. So if we scroll down to around about here, we can see how many books that I've sold through marketplaces as well. My best month, or my best marketplace, should I say, is Amazon.com. Now with Amazon.com, that's the main marketplace that I target, so that's where the majority of my sales come from. But if we look just here, I've sold 9,846 books, almost close to that 10,000 units sold just with my colouring books, and that's brought the total up to $19,500, which to me is absolutely insane that there's almost 10,000 colouring books, my colouring books that I created, out there in the world. So this is the first brand that I just want to share with you. Now we're going to go to my second brand. Now with this is for composition notebooks / notebooks. So this brand isn't your standard composition notebook, but the interior is. I've just targeted the niches in a certain way. Now, if we look just here under this brand, I started this back in 2019 and now it's May 2022. So a good few years that I've had this brand, and it's taken a while to make that $17,000. If we look here, I actually have 349 books under this brand. And if we look at the sales history just here, I have ups, I have downs, I have ups, I have downs. Now, why is this? Well, this one is mainly a seasonal niche. Now, even though these books are in seasonal niches, they still sell all year round like an evergreen book. Not that many, but as we can see just here, I still get consistent sales every month. Even though it might not be a lot compared to other months, I still get those consistent sales. But then when it comes to that time of year, these books start to pop off. Look at this. May, June in 2021 was really good as well. Now, some of these books I run ads on, some of them I don't. I am going to talk about that a little bit later on in the video as well. But we can see I get some pretty good sales sales with this brand, but again, it's been since 2019. Now, if we scroll down, these 349 books have actually sold, again, close to 10,000 units, making that $17,000. So this is one of my second brands that I have on KDP. Now let's scroll up a little bit. Let's put that to there. Now let's go on to my third brand. This is another one that I have. And this brand is just in the composition notebook niche. Now I have quite a few books, as we can see just here. I actually have 380 under this pen name, this brand, and it's made $7,000. But again, if we look just here, it's taken some time. These books were first started publishing or published in 2019. If we take a look here, we can see my results. My first month I made $24 with this brand, second month $51. And then we can see I've had its ups and then its downs. It's ups, it's downs, it's ups. And then the last few months hasn't really sold much. But now, as we're coming closer to June and July, I expect these books to start popping off again. Why is that? Well, again, these are composition notebooks. Composition notebooks can sell all year round, as we can see, but they tend to pop off more when it comes to back to school. Now, I believe back to school in America is July. So come July, I expect these to start popping off. And again, I probably will run some ads on these books. Not all of them, but some of them. Now, if we scroll down, these 380 books have actually made, just here, 3,751 sales, making just over that $7,000. And again, if we look just here, the majority of them come from the US. That's Amazon.com. Now let's scroll up. So that's my third brand that I just want to share with you. My fourth brand, just here, I've made close to $16,000 and I only have 34 books. Now with this little brand that I have on Amazon, we can see that it does fairly well, but again, only at certain times of the year. If we look here, January 2020, well in fact, if we look here, I started publishing these books in 2020. I now have 34 books, and if we go back to here, to the sales history, the first month I made $145, second month $1,200. Then if we look here, it was pretty slow throughout the year, and then it started to pop off again in February. Same as last year, slow throughout the year, but it picked up a little bit, and then it really popped off again in February. Now, why is this? Well, this is a seasonal book. Now, as it's in February, can you guess what type of niche this is? Well, that's correct. Yes, it's in the Valentine's Day niche. So because it's a Valentine's Day style book, this is only really going to sell in February, but as we can see here, my Februaries for this book do pretty well. Now, if we scroll down, those 34 books have actually sold 7,783, making close to that $16,000. Now, why am I telling you this, and why am I showing you all these different brands? Well, because I have some tips that I do want to share with you later on in the video, and I just want to share my results from my brands. And I haven't really seen many people do this within the KDP community. So I just want to share that I don't have one brand or two brand or three brand or four brands or even five. I actually have a lot more than that. Now, if we go on to the last one that I want to share with you, we can see this one doesn't do very well at all. And I have quite a few pen names like this as well. So not every book that you create is going to sell, far from it. Not every pen name or brand that you create is going to be successful, far from it. With this one, we can see that I started, back in 2019, and I've only made $229 within those years. That's 2019, 20, 21, 22. So about 3 years that I've only made $229, and I have 22 books under this brand name or pen name. Now, if we look here, it started off fairly well, $12 there, $20 here, it went down, it went up, and I made $53 in 2020. Now, from here, if we look just here, I've sold none. that was in April. Then every month has been not very good at all, as we can see. Now, the books in, or should I say, the niche that these books are in, are planners. But the planners just haven't done very well for me. Now, that's for me. For you, they may do very well. It all comes down to you and your business. Now, if we scroll down to here, we can see that over those 3 years, I've only sold 181 books, making that $229. So again, not every book that you create is going to sell, and not every pen name that you create is going to be successful. That's just the reality of this. I have quite a few pen names that do very well, and some that don't. And of course, I'm going to share with you the ones that do extremely well. That's why I wanted to chuck this one in here as well, because this one hasn't performed very well at all. Now, what I've gone ahead and done is actually put all these pen names together, all 5. If we scroll up, we can actually see that just here. I have 5 authors in here on Get Book Report, just so we can see the total of all these books combined, and then I'm going to share with you those tips. So if you've stayed around till the end, congratulations. Now take a look at this. Those 5 authors combined, even the one that hasn't done very well, has 802 books and has made 60,000 plus in royalties over the space of those 3 years. If we take a look here, some months are good, some months aren't, some months are good. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Now, if we take a look and go down to the bottom, these 5 authors combined have sold $52,000 or earned me $52,000 in royalty on Amazon.com, 6,000 here in the UK, 1,000 in Canada, and just a little bit in other marketplaces. But those 5 combined have sold 30,860 books, making 60,000 in royalties. We can see my best performers just here. Best one being one of my colouring books just here, second one being one of my Valentine's Day book, my third one being another colouring book, then my fourth one being a composition notebook, then my fifth one being another Valentine's Day book. Now again, why did I just show you all this? Well, I like to be as transparent as I possibly can. Yes, I can show you the stats and my brands like this, but obviously, and for obvious reasons, I can't actually show you my books because there's a lot of people out there who will just go straight there, copy them, try and rip them off, and do some shady stuff. But I like to be as transparent as I possibly can and just share with you my results. My results are going to be completely different from you, and they're not going to be typical. It all depends on you and how you run your business. Now, you're probably thinking $60,000. Okay, so how much did you run on ads? Well, I'm not very organised. It would be very hard to figure out how much I spent on ads for these 5 pen names, but if we go over to my ads account over lifetime since 2019, we can see that I've spent $21,000. Now, to put that into perspective, if we go over to the whole of my account just here and scroll back up, we can see that lifetime I've earned $122,000, but I have spent $20,000 or $21,000 on ads. So that ratio is pretty good because I actually do get a lot of organic sales. Now, I did also used to market my books and advertise on Amazon.co.uk website as well, so that's here in the UK, but it never performed really well for me, so I never actually spent that much. I think I spent a couple of thousand, so again, the ratio is pretty good. Now, with all that out of the way, I do want to share 5 tips that has helped me create this income. Tip number 1. And that is diversifying your books. Now, if we go back over to here, we can see I do get consistent sales throughout the year. Some months are better than others, as we can see, but those consistent sales come in because I've diversified my books. I've diversified my library into lots of different niches, lots of different types of books, and that sell all different types of years, or all different times of years. So with this one, these are my colouring books. With this one, these are my notebooks / composition notebooks. With this one, this is my composition notebooks, then these are my Valentine's Day books, and then this one are my planners. So I have lots of different books and in lots of different types of niches, and that sell at different times of the year, which brings me on to my second tip that I want to share with you, and that is tip number 2: create books in evergreen and also seasonal niches. Now, if you're new to KDP or online, you may not know what that means. Well, seasonal books mean that they're only going to sell at certain times of the year. So if we go back over to this one, this is a great example because these are my Valentine's Day books, and Valentine's Day is obviously only one time per year. But then I also have books that sell throughout the year. So if we take a look here at my colouring books, these are evergreen. So I believe that it's great to help your income and your business if you create and publish books in evergreen and also seasonal niches. See, I personally believe that it is vital, well, not vital, but if you want consistent sales throughout the year, then you have to diversify your books and you want to be in evergreen and seasonal niches. Again, that's what helps me get these consistent sales. Now, tip number 3, and that is understand consistency and time. Now, what do I mean by this? So everything takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. I created $122,000 in royalties, but again, we can see that I've been publishing since 2018. I didn't make this in 1 month or 1 year or 2 years. I've created this since 2018 and now it's 2022. So it's coming up 4 years of publishing. And I've got here by just staying consistent. I consistently publish books, I consistently work on my business, I consistently try and get better at everything, whether that's advertising, design, research. Consistency and time is what you need if you want to build a successful business. Which brings me on to my next tip, which is tip number 4, and that is: don't expect to make a few books or a handful of books and make a full-time income. It really doesn't work like that. I've seen people time and time again say, oh, I've published 6 books, why haven't I sold anything? Well, there's a lot of factors that come into play. First of all, is going to be your skills. What are they like? What's your designs like? What's your research like? And all of that. Are you advertising the books, trying to get organic sales? Because all of these factors come into play. You can't expect to create 6 books and make a lot of money from those books if you're especially brand new. Now, you could make a handful of books and make 100,000 in 1 year, but realistically, is that going to happen? No. It might for someone who already has skills and experience online, so they understand design skills. They might even be a designer. They already understand keyword research and niches and all of this. Again, there's a lot of factors to come into play, but creating 6 books and expecting to make sales from those 6 books, especially if you're brand new, is not how it works. You have to constantly be trying to improve. You want to consistently run your business and get better at this business. So again, don't expect to make a decent amount of money from 6 books. Me personally, look, I have 4,070, but each brand is different. With this brand, I've only made 17 books, but I've created 20,000. With this brand just here, I've made 380 books, making 7,000. So again, don't expect to create a handful of books and make a decent income. You have to learn, get experience, and improve at this business. Now, this brings me on to tip number 5, which is the 5th and final tip that I want to share. And I've said this a million times before, but tip number 5 is treat your business like a business and not a hobby. Now, again, what do I mean by this? Well, if you treat KDP, low content book publishing, like a hobby, you're going to get hobby results. Now, a hobby meaning you're just going to work on it whenever you feel like it. You might wake up on a Wednesday, it might be 8 p.m. and you might think, oh, I'm just going to do this for an hour, and then you might not do that again for another week or 2 weeks. You need to treat your business like an actual business and not a hobby. By treating it like a business, you want some type of schedule where you work on KDP when you can, but you need that schedule. That might be on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday. It might be all three. It might be twice a week. It might be 3 times a week. It might be every day. But having a schedule and allocating a certain day and a certain time to your business and consistently do that for long periods of time, that's when you will get great results. So with me, if we take a look just here again, I started in 2018. I was a lot more consistent here when I was diversifying and building out my library compared to what I do now. I still have certain days and certain times where I will work on my business, but it's not as much as what it was back here for obvious reasons. I have 4,000 books now. I've built out my library. I've diversified my library as well, and I'm making consistent sales. So again, try and figure out a schedule, a routine, and allocate a certain day and time to work on your business. Do this for long periods of time and stay consistent, and you will get results. Now, that's all the 5 tips that I wanted to share. I hope you enjoyed these tips and I hope you use them within your own business. And I hope you enjoyed this video where I actually shared 5 of my different brands. Remember, not every book that you create is going to sell. Not every pen name that you create as well is going to be successful. I still have pen names and books that I create, and some do not sell. Out of all these 4,000 books, not all of them are going to sell. Now, one thing I do want to note really quick, and I am going to plug, obviously, because it's our own course, and that's the LCB Vault. Now, practically everything that I know about publishing low content books is shared here within the Vault. And we do have 5 courses in one. Now, I'm going to keep that short, but if you're interested in checking out the Vault, there will be a link down in the description below. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also, go hit subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you can be notified for any further videos. That being said, I've been Paddy, this has been Stacking Profit, and I'll see you again soon.